Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 68 of Let's Go Racing with David Starr. Dominic Jones with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be joined by NASCAR great Geoff Bodine as he makes his return to the show. We'll be talking to Geoff about what he's been up to as of late, and we'll also catch up on the latest happenings in the NASCAR world and look back at the weekend at the All-Star Race at Texas and look ahead to this weekend's action in the Coca-Cola 600 as well as the Indy 500, the biggest weekend of the year in motorsports. We'll have a full preview of it coming up in just a little while from right now. Plus, we'll have our Ask David segment where you submit questions to us and we'll answer them at the end of the show. As always, we are presented by TicketSmarter. TicketSmarter came aboard as the primary sponsor this year on David's Ford 08 Mustang, and we want to tell you a little bit about what they do. TicketSmarter is a national ticket resale marketplace with tickets to over 125,000 live events, including NASCAR and other forms of motorsports. Fans can get tickets to every NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Camping World Truck Series race throughout the season. Visit TicketSmarter.com. That's TicketSmarter.com. David Starr joins us right now off of a fresh weekend at Texas, your home track, David. And the Xfinity side, you ended up with your best finish of the season so far.
Well, I was talking to Dom and at the Speedway, we were missing somebody. Dom, you remember who that was?
I know. I think it was Geoff. We missed Geoff at the racetrack.
We did. We did definitely miss Geoff Bodine at the racetrack, but our other guy we visit with every week on the podcast, he was nowhere to be found. Did you know where he was at?
Yeah, he was covering some sort of regional golf tournament, is what I heard.
Golf? What's that?
Yeah. It's something I'm not good at. I don't know about you, Dave, but I'm not good at that sport.
Man, I don't have time for that, but anyway.
Sorry, I was busy hanging out with Tiger Woods. It was a good time at the PGA Championship last week.
Man, I hear you, man. Texas was awesome. I tell you, the Xfinity race, since the season started, our TicketSmarter Ford Mustang has just been, we've had a lot of speed. And it's been crazy. It's like I've had such good luck for years and years and years. And I think anything that could happen to us, crazy stuff is happening. Again, I had a fast Ford Mustang, drove good. And, I felt like I was sideways most of the races, but just on a restart, I think we moved up to 11th, 12th, 13th, whatever it was. And I said, man, I'm going to get a couple, 2 or 3 of them on the restart and hopefully get up in the top 10. And I felt like I had a strong enough car to do that. Man, I didn't even make it off out of turn 1. Somebody hit me in the left rear and I thought we were done. And I, by the grace of God, I saved it. And they never threw a caution. And my tires were flat spotted. And you felt like a wheel and a tire was going to come off the car. We was able to stay on the lead lap. And caution finally came out to end the stage, and we was able to stay on the lead lap, change our tires, and then later on in the race, I felt like we really was running 15th, 16th, and got taken out again going into turn 3. Somebody hit me in the left rear, spun me, and I don't know who it was, but as somebody spun me, I got into the Ryan Seed car and spun him, and man, I don't know how this happened, but by the grace of God, nobody hit us. And I didn't hit anybody, which, you don't get lucky twice. And I did. And, but man, what a race it was. It was drama filled. People were crashing left and right, but it was a great race. And then they had a big pileup on the front straightaway and I kind of got pushed into it and got a little damage. And, man, it was all said and done. We finished 21st, but we had such a great car. It's just, sometimes the race plays out in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. This time it didn't play out in our favor, but we had a great car, drove good. I could pass. It was just awesome, but anyway, it was a lot of fun racing at home, and with everything that happened to us and to everybody else, to come out with 21st finish was, we'll take it, but it's definitely, we were a lot better than that. Felt like we were a 12th, 13th place car. But that's just racing, man. You got to run a race, and it don't always work out like you expected it to. And that was a crazy one.
Dominic Aragon joins us from the RacingExperts.com as well. Dominic, you were there at Texas for the controversial finish of the All-Star race with Ryan Blaney ultimately getting it done. But It didn't seem like everyone knew the rules. NASCAR throws out a caution prematurely, and you got a window net situation. Really took away from the race. If they don't call the caution, then this is a whole different story, right?
Absolutely. And seeing how that race played out, I was walking to pit road, about 2 laps to go, thinking, okay, I'm going to go interview Hamlin and whoever, because the race is going to end. Ryan Blaney's got a 2-second lead. And I look up at the big Haas, the big TV on the backstretch. I think it's the second biggest TV in the world. And it looks like Blaney's won the race and his pit crew's celebrating. And wait, all of a sudden, I'm looking at my phone and I'm looking at all these tweets. And wait, the race isn't over. We have a restart, and the race has got to finish under green and all that situation. And I don't know if TV talked about this, but it was really fascinating to hear from pit road when Ryan Blaney got his window net fixed and he weaved the car back and forth and was warming up his tires before they started. The fans went wild. You would have thought they'd introduced Dale Earnhardt Jr. in introductions. Fans went crazy when Ryan Blaney got his window net up. So certainly a crazy finish. I think that's one that we're going to remember. I think it's one Denny Hamlin wants to forget, but definitely a lot of fired up people at the end of the race. And Ryan Blaney told me after the race too, he says he's going to put that window net above his fireplace.
That's really cool. I like that. That's great for Blaney to see him get that done. And with the controversy and all that, David, for me, it kind of reminded me of, we watch these football games all the time, right? And, we think the game's over, and then the ref comes out and says, no, we got a replay review, and we got to redo the last play again, and with that, thinking the race was over, and then, oh, wait, nope, there was a caution that came out, and having to do that again. That's kind of what it felt like, but it was one of those situations, you want to put it back in football terms too, where the official got it wrong, where we shouldn't have had to do all that.
Well, I mean, I think it was crazy because they showed it on Big Hoss, what Dominic was talking about. And about 10 yards before the start finish line, the caution light came on. And I guess the rules in the All-Star race, I can't wait to hear Jeff's opinion on this, but the rules in the All-Star race, when that caution comes on, in a real NASCAR race, a points race, once you take the white flag and the caution comes out, the race is over with, and where you're at is how you finish, okay? But the All-Star race is a special race. And I want to say, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say this. Ryan Blaney have them covered. I mean, those Penske cars are fast. And Blaney have them covered, and it was, he had it covered so much that the last 50 laps or whatever the last caution was, I mean, he kind of stunk up the show. You know what I'm saying? So even though maybe NASCAR got it wrong, I think the fans were excited to see the caution come out. I mean, I was in the impression that Ryan Blaney won the race, and it took me about 2 minutes to try to figure out what was going on. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. The fans are going to see a dash for the cash, for a 2-lap, and when you got guy running second and third, there's $1 million on the line. Hell, this is going to be really exciting, and I felt bad for Ryan Blaney, but, and on top of that, to make the drama even bigger, Ryan took his window net down because he thought he won the race, and he couldn't get it back up. And Geoff will tell you, and I'll tell you, that it's not easy getting that window net up. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it. And I was like, man, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Because he thinks he won the race, put his window net down. Is NASCAR going to make him come down pit road and have his team put it up and put him in the back of the pack, And I'm thinking, man, and I'm like, I'm cheering for him. It's drama filled, and he's doing all, y'all saw everything going on. I'm like, there's no way he's going to be able to get it back up, but he did. And man, they dropped the green flag, and man, he showed his dominance again and won it twice. But I even though I think maybe NASCAR messed up, I think the drama of it and the excitement of it really made it kind of helped that All-Star race be more exciting. We're all talking about it. And I believe, you guys keep up with the social media, Twitter and everything. And I think a lot of people had a lot of things to say, whether it was negative or positive, but I just think it really helped the outcome of the race. It was exciting for the fans. They got their money's worth, but if that caution wouldn't have happened, if that controversy wouldn't have happened, it was one, I would say it was rather, uneventful all-star race, you know what I mean? And that controversy really gave it a little spice.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've said for a long time that Ryan Blaney was an old school racer that just happens to race in 2022. And to sit there in his own car and find a bungee cord and fix his own window net like that, I mean, that doesn't get any more old school than that right there.
So what are you trying to say? He should have been racing back with Geoff Bodine? Or, I mean,
he would have fit right in with that.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, he would have.
On the air.
You are, Geoff. We appreciate you joining us. This was not the formal introduction that we were going to give you, but since you're here, welcome.
I listened to all this baloney going on here. NASCAR screwed up. Yeah, they did that on purpose. They love that. They love to throw those yellow flag. Restarts cause action, cause crashes. I would have spun Ryan out coming off turn 4 to get the green flag. I'm surprised he did that. I mean, for $1 million, you're going to do anything. They knew once he got out in front, they weren't going to catch him. So I would have spun him out way before that. But NASCAR, yeah, they did that on purpose. That yellow flag shouldn't have come out. Whoever hit the wall, scrubbed the wall, they kept going. There was no problem, no blocking the track. But they did it, like you said, David, to make the show more exciting. And
yeah,
it certainly did, because they didn't expect him to drop his window net, so that added more drama to the restart. And poor Denny Hamlin, he got beat. Oh, he's all mad. They should have black flag Ryan. Oh, that's terrible. Denny, grow up. He was, come on, he had your ass beat, excuse my language. And that was terrible. Denny's getting too old. These young kids are beating him. And all those old guys are like you and David and me. You're not old. I'm old. But they're retiring, because they can't beat these kids in equal equipment. I mean, this is so interesting what's happened with these new cars. Everyone has the same car. Yeah, you can set it up a little different, change it, but you got to drive the heck out of it. And these old guys aren't used to doing that. They always had some advantages. Because you used to be able to tweak the car and change a little here and there. Actually, if you knew the rules, you'd say they're cheating, but it's not cheating until you get caught. But now they're in an even built race car, and they are getting their butts beat. They don't like it, so they're going to get out, go do some TV and make some more money. That's all fine. I don't blame them. If Jeff Gordon was still driving, he would be a mid-pack driver, because these young kids are good. The Watermelon Man, and the I can't remember names. The 8 car.
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, all those young guys they're just awesome. They used to have other young kids know how to drive. Well, they didn't have the same equipment. Now they got the same equipment. They're showing who could drive and who can't. But the All-Star race, yeah, it was boring until the end, when they threw that yellow flag and he put the window net down and put it up. Or Denny was crying. Hey, Dom, when you're on victory lane, do you give Denny a handkerchief to wipe his tears? Anything like that?
No, but I was standing pretty much like 2 feet from him when he had that little media slum. And I will say Spicy Denny Hamlin is very interesting.
Yeah, well. Yeah, we all get that way. I mean, but he was beat. Everyone, like you said, David, I mean, Ryan had those guys beat so bad. He was bad fast.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you talk, Geoff, because the next gen car, everybody has the same parts and pieces. It wasn't like last year or the year before, where the powerhouse teams had an advantage and they had a combination figured out, and you really didn't know what spindles they had and what rear end housing they had and how much tow they had in it. And I mean, what the box they give you to on all the specifications, but the powerhouse teams, they found a combination, some body stuff. And now when the chassis and you have to buy all the same parts and pieces, man, it's interesting to hear Geoff Bodine give it to us real, because everybody's got the same cars, basically except a setup. And now you see, like you said, the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney. You see these
Chase Briscoe.
You see these young kids, man, they're coming to the front, and I say every week, you say, well, hey guys, who you think's going to win the race this week? And I keep saying Kevin Harvick. He ain't even close. You know what I mean? He snuck up there a little bit and got second and third, but and you're looking at Denny and some of the older guys that have been involved, Truex, so I think we talked about it not too long ago. Truex was talking about maybe it's time to retire. I think it's time to retire because it ain't as easy as it once was for him, and
exactly.
And Geoff, talk about it.
Writing a book. This is the book we're moving right now about that bobsleds we built. And the night train, how story of the NASCAR inspired bobsled that beat the world.
That's awesome.
Beat the world. So just go on New World Racing, and we have the book. We even made a record back in when was it? The 80s. A guy in Nashville came up with an idea, and I funded it. And 21 drivers, the late Dale Earnhardt sings, Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett, myself. You need a tissue when I sing. I got the slow, sad country song. Jeannie Seeley wrote my song. So these songs are all written by really great songwriters. And
Geoff, you lost me when you brought up a CD. I can't remember the last CD I listened to.
Well, but we have it on vinyl too. Vinyl. I did CDs because years back nobody had vinyl. Vinyls are coming back. So this is really a collector's item.
Hey Geoff, I'm kind of lost.
He's already selling product.
No, well, hang on a second. There's nothing wrong with that. But wait a minute. We're talking about the 50th best race car driver in the world, which came out years ago, and Geoff Bodine is, I don't know, 6th or 7th on that list. And he's talking about singing country music. Wait, you sung? You was a singer? I thought you was a professional, famous race car driver, man.
I grew up in the country, an all-American farm boy. That's a little Dale Earnhardt. And I'll tell you, now some drivers tell their name, like I'm Wild Bill Elliott, Crazy Race Man, right in the beginning. But if you listen to these songs, you will not be able to tell who's singing until they tell their name. I was there. When I first heard, I said, who the heck is that? I mean, it's like regular singers, they talk like we do normal. They open their mouth singing and a whole different voice comes out. And the same with race car drivers. Of course, when we're driving around, somebody spins us out, a whole new voice comes out too. You don't want little kids to hear that voice. It's kind of nasty. Like Denny Hamlin.
So Geoff, who was some of the drivers that sung on y'all's CD album that surprised you, that was really had a good voice that really caught you off guard?
Well, Kyle Petty sings. He still sings.
Yes.
He's expanded his singing. He's really good.
Yeah, he performed at the Grand Ole Opry back in the last Nashville.
Wow.
Earnhardt, some guys talk through it, like Bill Elliott. I'm Wild Bill Elliott, Crazy Race Man. He doesn't really sing. Benny Parsons talks through the late Benny Parsons. Dale Jarrett, Cale Yarborough thought he was a singer, and he had a friend of coaching him, practice. Well, by the time he got up, we all didn't sing at the same time. 6, 7 of us went to Nashville and real recording studio. But by the time Cale got up singing, had a little too few mud wet. And you can kind of tell when he sings. He was a little tipsy, but
Geoff, do you call that liquid courage?
Pardon?
Do you call that liquid courage? Liquid courage?
I needed some too. Dick Brooks really was a great singer. He's a great guy, but he was a pretty good singer. Dale Jarrett, Buddy Baker, he's funny, but Bill Elliott sings, like I said. Phil Parsons, Rusty Wallace, Richard Childress.
Wow.
Richard Childress sings. I'll tell you the title of his song, T-Bone. When he was used to drive, he got T-Bone one time, so that's what the song is about. Joe Ruttman sings. James Hilton, Ricky Rudd,
Wow.
Bobby Hillin, Kelly Arrow, Bobby Allison sings. Yeah, there's
So Jeff,
21 of them.
where do we get one of those albums at? How can we find? I've never even seen one. I didn't even know it was even out there. You got it on your website. Where do we buy one at?
Just email me, newworldracing@aol.com. New
Man.
World Racing.
Hey guys, Dom, you know about how we can get one of those? You know that?
Dom knows.
Okay.
Yeah. So
We need to buy one of those. That's pretty awesome. I got to hear this. I
Oh,
got to hear
it's
Geoff
so
Bodine
cool.
sing, dude.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
My wife Lori does all of that. She gets all the orders and gets them out, and I take them to the post office. But it's a good deal. You can buy one of each, or you can buy what they call a bundle, all three, discounted price.
Well, man,
We've sold quite a few. We have a limited supply left.
Okay.
So if anyone out there wants one, you better get New World Racing at AOL.com. Just say it. My wife will send you the information, how to get it and all that.
Awesome, man.
Everything goes out autographed.
Okay, awesome. That was my next question. Absolutely.
Well,
Man,
I'll tell you what
that's
too,
pretty
David, we were out there at Jeff's house a few weeks ago working on the book. He had this playing on his Crosley jukebox. He had the CD playing. I bet you don't know who that is. I bet you don't know who that is. I bet you don't know who that is. And I tried to guess.
Did
I'm
you
like,
know?
yep.
Did
No,
you know,
I didn't know
Dom?
most of them. I knew a couple of them, but this is that I had a computer in front of me and I could kind of Google the lyrics and stuff. So I was cheating on that.
Yeah, you cheated.
I didn't even know it existed, dude. I can't wait to buy one. That's amazing, man.
So we're going to do another album and David's going to sing.
The Racers did one earlier, which was just a funny deal. It didn't really work, but this was serious. National songwriters wrote these songs off of interviews, and so it's a serious deal. I spent a lot of money promoting it. I haven't made it back yet, so please buy some. Everyone that has one really enjoys it. They say, "Man, I can't believe you guys could sing that well." But I always have a tissue.
I'm so intrigued. I'm buying one.
How many takes did it take you to get your song right? How many hours did it take in the recording studio?
No, you practiced before you got there, so kind of knew the words. You know, it's about you, so you know the words pretty quick. It wasn't like I was singing opera.
Hey Jeff, after seeing the All-Star race, how crazy it was, man! Yeah, man. I remember some of the All-Star races that you were in, and man, can you give us one that just jumps out, the most memorable All-Star race you were in? I mean, you yourself, Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt Sr. Dale Earnhardt, and man, you know.
Come on, David. The one you win is the one you remember, right?
Absolutely, man.
That was the first win I had with that 7 team after I bought it after Alan Quickie got killed. So that was really special. But I remember one when the last 10 laps, the format, the way they had it before, 10 laps at the end was, that's super exciting. Come on, 50 laps. Give me a break. That's boring.
Absolutely.
10 laps, you can go flat out, sideways, you're tired, that don't matter. But this one, Elliott was on the pole. I started second. Earnhardt was behind me. Took off for the last 10 laps, and I had a little jump on Bill. And we had a fast car, Levi Garrett 5. I thought, and it was fast. I said, I'm going to win this thing. Next thing I know, I'm going sideways through 1 and 2. I didn't hit anything, straightened it out. Of course, they threw the yellow. And we changed tires and went back out. Of course, I'm going, who did it? And Rick Henry said it was Earnhardt. Of course, at the end is when was it a pass through the grass, which really wasn't a pass through the grass, but he ended up winning the race. Well, Bill went up and whacked him to show he wasn't really happy with what he did going through the grass. Rick Henry told me Earnhardt's the one that spun me out. So I went up there and body slammed him. Well, just as I'm body slamming him, Rick Henry goes, "No, it was Elliott. Elliott hit you." I said, "Oh, man, it was a little too late." So we got called in the big red trailer with NASCAR and got our butts chewed out. And I said, I was just congratulating him. I wasn't congratulating. But yeah, just as I'm getting ready to bang him. Rick goes, no, it's Bill Elliott did it. And you look at the video, you see Bill slid up and hit me.
Wow.
But I had it. Still came back and finished third, I think. But, so that's the most exciting for
Yeah.
me with the win, but that's the next exciting one.
So what about with this upcoming weekend, Memorial Day weekend, such a big weekend in racing with, historically speaking, the Coke 600, Indy 500, Monaco, all that. What comes to mind for you on that front, Geoff, of this weekend just in motorsports here?
Well, a couple of things. Yeah. The World 600, in 94, I was running Hoosier tires. That's when I won the All-Star race. And a lot of people won money on that All-Star race. The Wood brothers bet big on me. And, at the start of the All-Star race, Sterling, Marlin, and Schrader got by me. Took a couple laps for my tire to get going, but I blew them off. But when they were in front of me, the Wood brothers, they were praying for me to win because they put a lot of money on me in Vegas. They won a lot of money. So that was cool. But the 600, we had them beat. And coming for the last pit stop, Rusty Wallace came in. He was running behind us. He changed 4 tires. So we have to come and get gas. We didn't have enough gas. And Paul Andrews Cruciate said, 4 tires, 4 tires. I said, no, 2, just 2. They went with 4. Well, by the time, and then Jeff Gordon came in, he didn't change any tires. So he was way ahead of me at the end. I couldn't catch him. Now, if we'd only changed 2, I would have come out right with him, and we should have won that race. Indy, I have memories from Indianapolis that aren't so good. It was in 94. We had Hoosier tires, and we were bad fast. And Gordon had more horsepower, so in the beginning of the run, he just passed me down the straightaway. But our tires kicked in, and I passed him in the corners and just pull away. But caution came out, so we're all going to pit. So we come in, we changed 4. Gordon changed 4. My brother Brett, they only changed 2 on a Quaker State car, and Allison, they all changed just 4 tires. So here we come out. Brett's on the pole. I'm second, and I said I got to get by my brother quick before Gordon gets by us, then I'm going to have to pass him again. So I was kind of in a hurry, and I shouldn't have been, but I was. So, and David, 4 tires are a lot faster than 2.
Yeah, they are.
Indy's a track where 4 tires are very important.
Yeah.
So I knew Brett wasn't going to be fast in the corners. So coming off of 2 on the restart, yeah, he was wiggling a little bit. Said, okay, I'll get him in a short shoot between 3 and 4. So he went in kind of easy, and I shot up under him. Yeah, we just scrubbed fenders, but I didn't hit him or anything. It was just close. He trying to hold me down. Well, being on the inside coming off turn 4, I didn't have the line to be wide open yet.
Right.
Brett did. So I kind of had to let up. He ran into me and spun me out. Leading the race. Gonna win $1 million or whatever it was to pay that. And Dale Jarrett hit me after that. The whole field was behind us. And they were going down pit road. They were every way missing us, but put us out of the race. So that was a memorable event. The first Brickyard 400, we were in a great position to win, but it didn't happen. And
that was 1994, the first one.
Yeah, the World 600 in a position to win, and we didn't win. So they were heartbreakers.
Wow.
So this weekend has good memories for me. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. I hope Jimmy Johnson runs good, finishes, pray that nothing happens. He's had a couple close calls already up there, bouncing off the wall. So Jimmy, keep it going straight, and he'll have a chance to win. He has a fast car, and he's proven he can do it.
Absolutely.
So I just pray, though.
Safety.
Why is he doing this? He's got more money than you, me, and Dom, and everybody combined 10 times. And he has kids, a beautiful wife, beautiful kids.
Man, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, he should just enjoy the rest of life.
Absolutely. Hey, Geoff, I want to ask.
He's a racer.
Yeah, he's a racer like all of us. I want to ask you, back in 1994, you're talking about this tire thing, and now I remember it because you were on Hoosiers and everybody else was on Goodyears. Was NASCAR, you know, that was a big story back then. I remember that was big news. And when you switched over to Hoosiers, that was huge news. That was the media covered it, everything.
I'll be in a book. I'm going
yes.
to
Okay.
because I want this story cleared up. I didn't do it on my own.
Oh, okay.
Exide Batteries came to Bob Newton with Hoosier Tire and me, and they wanted to sponsor us in Montgomery Ward. Montgomery Ward was selling Exide Batteries and Hoosier street tires.
Yeah.
So we had a meeting in Vegas, which we had pretty good. I like to go for the Vegas, but we had a meeting. Carnally Jones was there because he was part of all that. And the deal was, if I ran Hoosier tires, I'd get the sponsorship. I've been down this road before. I called up Bill France Jr. I said, Bill, this is the deal. I told him exactly what went on. He said, man, I want you to run those tires. Goodyear at that time was, there was a hostile takeover process. Somebody at foreign country was talking about buying Goodyear, and they get out of racing. So Mr. France said, no, I want you to run those tires, work hard, develop those tires, because he said, I might need them for my race cars.
Wow.
He said, I got to have tires for my race cars and put a show on. So I was blessed by the head of NASCAR, and he told me to run those tires, and which we did. We built it, worked really hard with Bob Newton and all his team. We tested tires more than we raced that year.
Wow, man, you were busy.
We had, and wore my team out. I should have won 14 races. We won 4. Engines kept breaking, and we just wore everything out.
Wow,
and,
from testing.
Yeah, testing so much, but it was worth it. But the following year, Goodyear was mad at me, so they built me special tires. Yeah, special.
Yes, special. Yeah.
You want to put them on your pickup truck. So that went a whole year. We built a machine to test them. We knew what they were doing, but nobody listened. Went a whole year, and then it started the next year. And finally, I went to Bill France Jr. Had a meeting with him at Fontana, the first race at Fontana. Mm-hmm. And everyone was in the trailer with him. Gary Nelson was working for NASCAR then. Right. And I said, Bill, I got a little problem with Goodyear. They're making me some bad tires. Oh, what do you mean? They can't be. I said, yeah. I said, your guys pick out the first 3 sets of tires for all the teams, and then Goodyear picks them out after that. No, we pick them all out, don't we, Gary? Gary shook his head. No. Bill Francis jaw dropped. I said, would you? Obviously, you didn't tell Goodyear that you told me to run those tires, did you? I said, would you please tell him? So he told Stu Grant. I went to Phil Homer. Phil Homer was a great friend of mine. Yeah. I ran Goodyears on modifieds, put them on a map, and then late models, and we were buddies. And when I told him that, all I could say is looked at me and said, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, we weren't doing anything wrong. Why didn't you tell me? It's time to bear the action." They took every tire they had already mounted for me for Fontana, took them back, gave me all new tires. Never had a bad tire after that.
Man, Geoff, what a story. That's amazing. I mean,
Bill France a favor in that, and by me running Hoosier, it made Goodyear get better.
Yes.
Built their own plant just for race tires. They didn't have that before. So drivers are mad at me. They didn't realize what was going on. And then I paid the price the next year and a quarter, a lot of money, sponsors, a lot of sponsors. Then, did NASCAR, Bill France favor, pretty big one. And then we go to, it's always going to be in the book. We went to Daytona in July to race. You put your plate on, the restricted plate on to practice. We were running good, no problem. Go through inspection. Had 2 rounds of qualifying back then. NASCAR puts their plate on. They take it out of a box, numbered. Right. They put. I didn't go fast enough to qualify. So what the heck? I asked my And you guy, Danny Glenn, I said, Danny, take our practice plate down there and let him check it. It checked perfect. I said, okay, go buy another one from them. Make them check it. Get one from NASCAR. We'll do that tomorrow morning. We were running great Saturday morning to qualify. Went through inspection. NASCAR put their restrictor plate on, which you don't touch. You don't touch it. I didn't qualify for the race. First time in my career I didn't qualify a race. He was so mad that I asked him to tell Goodyear that he told me to run Hoosier tires. I was in the barrel twice with Goodyear and him. Can you believe that? That's the truth. That's the truth that's going to be in the book. I can't prove any of it because I didn't build the tires and I never touched the restrictor plate. But all I'm telling you is, we know they build us bad tires. We know there's a small restrictor plate. And they control the sport, unfortunately, more than people realize.
Jeff, that's amazing.
I got to think that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing that what Jeff's telling. I mean, that's just unbelievable. The politics of our sport. You know, they wanted him to run the Hoosier tires, so you did. It was going to work out with your sponsor. You didn't really want to do it, but you had Bill France Jr.'s blessing, and man, it rebounded on you, man. And then, you know, it's amazing when you ask Bill France Jr. to, hey man, help me out here. I'm doing it because you blessed me. You wanted me to do it. And then the tires you had already mounted for the race, they dismounted them. There it is right there. And then he's mad at you because he had to go do that. Man, wow, man, that's amazing, Jeff. God.
Well, it's just part of it. It makes the book real interesting. It's going to be real interesting, and we're going to do a audio deal where people can get it online. I'm going to read the book to people, and we might only do it that way because when you get a publisher to do a book, they make all the money.
Right.
And these guys, they've worked hard on this book, and it's my story. So we might just do an audio book, and then you can plug it in your car. You get on your iPad, or telephone, hook it to your car, and listen to it going down the road. And that might be a way we'll do it. Everyone has those things now. So.
Well, I know one thing, Dom. I'm buying that book too, man. That's amazing stories you just told.
And I'll tell you what, Dave, he's only scratching the surface with some.
No, I know, man. That's unbelievable, man.
So while we have you here, Jeff, you mentioned that book. You and Dominic are working on a book. I've been working on this for a long time. Tell us about how that's coming together and what the story is behind that one.
It's really good. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to people. You know, it tells my career from when I was 5 years old on up. You know, that's all good. A lot of good stuff in it. But then we go into NASCAR when I got into Cup, late models and Cup, and that's when my whole career I've been blessed by the Lord. He gave me. I don't take any credit for my career. He gave me credit, talent. Well, I gave me parents, the right parents. They built a racetrack when I was a year old. That's pretty good. My father built me a little racer when I was 5 years old. That's pretty neat. And then I had uncles that raced. So I was around the sport all my life, and I learned all sides of it, promoting side, the work side, a dirt track in the beginning, how to work. I grew up on a farm, chickens and cows, so I work. Unfortunately, today, kids are on these things more than they're outside doing good stuff. And so that I've been blessed by the Lord. And then he got, I made it through that modified thing and late model thing, and he got my Cup ride. And, I was in some pretty spectacular crashes like we all are. And of course, in 2000, I was in a real spectacular one. Everyone thought I was dead. And there's a whole story leading up to that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and a story why that happened. There's a real reason why it happened. That's pretty interesting, isn't it, Don?
Oh, big time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And but there's just so much more to the whole story, my whole career, and we're gonna talk about all that. The Rick Hendrick days, Junior Johnson, Bud Moore, when I owned the team, Finch, when I drove for him, and why I kept going. You know, I drove in cars I knew I couldn't win in, but they were my friends. I was helping friends, but I was helping myself because I didn't want to leave the sport. You know, you love that, the people, you love the racing, you love all the energy at a racetrack and being around it. So I had a real hard time stopping, and I drove a lot of cars I probably shouldn't have, but you know, I finally prayed to God to get it out of me, and he did. So we're not driving anymore. I still work on race cars, believe it or not. You know, I'm 73 years old, still build cars and work on them, set them up, and that's fun. I love that. But the book is, and then naturally we're a chapter on things that teams did to win races that might not have been legal. That might not have been legal. And so we're going to talk a lot about that. And
Geoff, what'd you say earlier?
I'm not naming names, who did what. You'll be able to figure out some of them, and maybe all of them, I don't know. But I'm not out to hurt anybody. It just, you know, that's what you do in racing. You try to find that advantage. And that's what's so hard today. You can't find it in these cars. Everyone has the same car, the same package. You can change a few things, but you can't change. It has to be NASCAR approved. So the young guys are showing how good they are, and the old guys are showing
Geoff,
how old
man,
they are.
yeah, it's amazing to all the championships and wins Hendrick Motorsports. You know, they're just the powerhouse team. It's amazing that Geoff Bodine got Rick Hendrick his first win in NASCAR. It's amazing, you know, and obviously you own to win a lot more races for him. But as you ever sit back and, you know, you look at Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, just all the, you know, but you started it, man. I mean, you got all, you know, you got him his first win plus many more. It's just amazing, you know. I mean, just to hear those stories is just, you know, we could sit here and talk for hours and hours and hours. Amazing, man.
We'll tell a lot of those stories. And, you know, I actually talked to Rick Hendrick after most races. We talk, and especially when the 5-car wins. I like 5, the number 5. That's pretty good. But
Yeah.
He told me the other day, well, I told him, remember Darlington? I was on the pole. Tim Richmond was outside pole. We're coming off turn 4 for the start of the race. I shifted the third gear, and the camshaft broke. Never made it to the finish line. Never made it.
Come on.
The camshaft broke. Rick said, you know, you probably would have won at least 40 races if we didn't blow all those engines. Back in the day, I loved Randy Dorton, but you couldn't get the parts enough for one engine, let alone 2 teams.
Right.
And Tim had a steel billet cam in. I had a cast iron cam in. Mine broke.
Wow.
And that Rick said, you've won at least 40 races.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I know. But it didn't.
Yeah.
Rest is history. It's all good. I'm still here.
Hey, but all the millions and millions of drivers and fans and everybody that wants to be like Geoff Bodine would take the wins you did win for Rick Hendricks. Absolutely.
I'm pretty happy with my career. Could have been better, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
A question, just, you know, man, you know, just you know, it don't get much better in the career you had. You know, I guess just a crew chief that you thought was just on somebody you highly respected as a crew chief. Maybe it wasn't even your crew chief, but just somebody back in your time when you were winning a lot of races. Who was somebody that really stood out that was just incredible crew chief then?
You know, they've all been good. They've all been good. You know, my first real cup ride was Dale Bryant was my crew chief with the 50 car and 88 car. I love Daryl to death. He was out there. I don't know if he's still crew chiefing or not.
Right.
But then, you know, I signed up with Rick Hendrick for one reason only. The reason was Harry Hyde.
Wow.
Rick knows this. You know, we had a meeting, and Rick said, well, he was first year team, you know, I might be able to, I can guarantee you 15 races. I don't care. Yeah, that's great. I want the job.
Yeah.
He said, well, we'll give you a call. I said, you mind if I wait out in your waiting room? We didn't have cell phones back then. And I was afraid the phone never ring. So he was so impressed that I wanted the job that badly. They came out and said, you got the job.
Wow.
It was because of Harry Hyde. He's a winning crew chief. He's famous in racing. I knew, I really thought he could teach me how to win. Well, we won our 8th race together. But our 7th race after that, we'd run some good races. We had a few problems. And Rick came to us and after the 7th race and said, guys, I'm going to have to shut the team down.
Wow.
I spent way too much money. He only had 2 small car dealerships.
Right.
He wasn't a Rick Henry he is today. He said, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I got to shut the team down. We just don't have the money to keep going. We spent a lot more than we thought. Well, Harry talked to him and he said, Rick, the car is ready for Martinsville. It's all ready. The engine's in it. It's all ready. Just need a few tires, but let us go. Bodine's won a few races there, which modifies in late models. Yeah, I won. Totally, I've won, 14 races there. So I've had a few. I had a few grandfather clocks. I only have one left. I gave them all away. But Rick said, okay, go. Rick and his wife, Linda, were in Greensboro at a church conference. So they weren't even there. And no cell phone. So we won the race, obviously. And after the race, he had to call his mother up. He said, how'd they do, Ma? Ricky, they won. Rick and his wife, Linda, I live just a little out of Greensboro. They went to my house and toilet papered my house. All the trees. I don't know who threw them up in those trees, but Linda had a good arm, I guess. I don't know. But
Rick Hendricks and his wife, they wrapped your house with toilet paper.
The trees and everything. So that was a celebration for winning his first race and my first Cup race and keeping Hendrick Motorsports going. And today, they send you all over the country on TV and all that stuff. But no, that was special. It's coming home to see all that toilet paper hanging around. But yeah, special. And I'm glad I was able to do it and keep that team going. Who knows where those careers of those guys would have gone. It might have been better, probably not. Might have been a whole lot worse. So,
man, Geoff, just think if Harry Hyde wouldn't have talked Rick Hendrick into going to that race. And you think about it. Rick Hendrick, the world might not even know who Hendrick Motorsports is today.
He was shut the door. He wouldn't be there. He was that close. Yeah. We hadn't told Harry, okay, go ahead. Things happen that way. He was going to a church conference with his wife. Now, and I know God has led me through my career and my life. I know that. There's no question.
Yeah.
And he and Rick and Linda are very Christian people. So for some reason, Rick said, okay, let's go race. Have fun. And Harry, we had a little fan club get together because it happened in April, right on my birthday, April 18th.
Wow.
And we had a little birthday thing going outside the track, and Harry had the mic and said, I don't know. Bodine's running pretty good, but I don't think he's quite ready to win. I looked at him, I took the mic, I said, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, Harry, but we're running good. We got a chance. We're going to win this race. And but none of the people knew how important it was. Harry and I did, but no one else. And we went out there and kicked their butt. So,
man, what a story, Geoff. Can you imagine somebody driving by and seeing Rick Hendricks and his wife throwing freaking toilet paper in your freaking trees? I can't. You look at it. You just you can't fathom that. You can't comprehend that.
So let me bring Dominic in. I got a question for Dominic. I know that we're used to asking these questions to the guests, but I want to see Geoff's reaction to this too. Dominic, of this time you guys have been working on this book together, what's the biggest surprise? What's the most maybe thing that caught you off guard from learning about Geoff through putting this book?
Good question. Great question. I want to know.
Man, no, that's a really good question. I'm really having to think and dig hard on it. I think maybe for me personally, I think the biggest surprise isn't, and I've told this on the radio when we've been promoting this, or just, you know, when we're talking about this project. I mean, Geoff could have picked anybody to tell this story, to tell this book, and all the connections he has in North Carolina, being a part of the sport and the roots he has. And he picked some hotshot, cocky young little punk out of Grants, New Mexico to help tell his story. So that's something I think I was definitely very surprised with. I'm very honored that Geoff has let me be the person to help tell this story. So
I guess I drank too much wine that night. I don't know.
he must have. I can't believe he agreed to it either, but it is an honor. I'm definitely so honored to help Geoff with, and I want to make sure we tell this right.
Well, Geoff, we're glad you were drinking a lot of wine when you made that decision, because we love it.
Me too. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I can't say I'm drinking wine, but I did get this as a gift a little bit back. So it's a cool.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, man.
Phillips. Yeah.
Awesome.
That was towards the end of the deal. QVC. Yeah. When you hear about the QVC deal and all that stuff, it'll blow your mind.
I can't wait to see all that.
The other question, I guess I've never asked you this, Geoff, but I know like with the Phillips stuff, there's some Bodine line and stuff, like the Bodine LED light and stuff. Was that part of like the business to business or sponsorship, or how was that something that you were a part of, or some sort of deal with the sponsorship where you had some products named after you?
No, I didn't know anything about that, man. I'm gonna have to sue those guys. I didn't know they did that.
I've seen some like Bodine LED stuff, and I've seen the Phillips.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to show you.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, show it to me. I want to buy some.
Yeah, you got it.
Then I have evidence. They owe me.
The Bodine LED emergency light. I'm looking at it right now on an online retailer. How about that?
I don't know. Oh, you're kidding me. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, no, we'll look at that. Yeah, because I'd wondered, I'd seen those before, and I remember seeing that at like Walmart maybe a few months back. I don't know if it was a Bodine light bulb or something, but it said Phillips and Bodine. I thought that's too much of a coincidence to not be involved, or maybe there was something there. I never asked you on that, but I was curious about that.
Yeah, I don't know, but see, I'm learning things too with this book. Dominic knows more than I do about it. About me.
Yeah. No, there's been some stuff that has shocked me, and I think too, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but you being on the Dale Earnhardt Jr. download and being on Dale Jr.'s podcast, I think that certainly gave a lot of momentum. I think a lot of race fans have discovered over the last few months, Geoff's on social media. Geoff's pretty active. He's got Facebook, Twitter, and all that. I don't think a lot of fans have known. And I think it's a cool little milestone, too. You hit 10,000 followers on Facebook recently. It seems like your Facebook page just keeps getting a lot of momentum, and a lot of fans are discovering that you're on social media.
Yeah, I want to thank all those fans. Yeah. And it's Dominic that's doing it. I'm the kind of guy. I don't have an ego. I don't need to be out there, but Dominic knows the importance of it, especially when we're coming up with this book thing. And so, I appreciate all that. And, a lot of people are saying I need to be in the Hall of Fame. That will never happen, because there's only one reason I like to have it happen, because I get up there and tell who's really responsible for my career. It isn't me. It was my Lord Jesus Christ. He's the one that gave me talent, led me through it, kept me safe, kept me alive. And so that's the only reason I dedicate the award to him for sure. But there's such a hard feelings with NASCAR and myself for some reason, which will be in the book. See, I'm teasing them. It's going to be in the book. You got to buy it or hear the book. I'm going to tell the story. So,
yeah.
That's really cool. David, you got one more thing before we move on?
Yeah, Geoff, it's just to being one of the best ever NASCAR drivers ever, and all the races and everything you've done. I mean, it's just, it's amazing. And I love hearing you talk about, it's all, your faith and your Christian, and, who made that all possible, who made it all happen. But man, it's kind of cool. And I don't really think, and I ask the question, there's not a lot of brothers to have yourself and your brothers race with you. I don't even know how many times all three of y'all were in the same race, but, to be Geoff Bodine and champion, NASCAR Cup legend, and to have your brothers racing with you. You just told a story about the Brickyard 400 1994 when you probably was going to win the first Brickyard 400, and next thing you know, your brother takes you out. You know what I mean? And then just all the years that you raced with Todd and and Brett, and man, that's got to be. I mean, I don't know. I can't sit here and think of others that have had three brothers that raced at the level y'all raced at. I mean, that's just so special, man. I would think.
Yeah. How'd you like to been our mother? She used to watch the races like this. But she was, and our dad, they were proud of us, and we're proud of it too. But
absolutely, man.
Brett and I are better brothers now than ever. That's behind us. It's only a stupid race. I'd rather have a brother than win a race. So at the time we were just disappointed.
Absolutely,
that happened, but that's way behind us. We're just super brothers now, and he has a great family, still working for NASCAR, so we're proud of him.
And to see your youngest brother, Todd Bodine, man, I'm a big fan of his. I was just cheering him on Friday night, and he was, I'm like, man, I wish Todd would run a lot more races than what he's running, but man, it's cool to see him out there. And, and man, let me tell you, those kids might be half his age and a lot, more than that, but man, it's still there, and that's cool to see that, so.
Yeah. I mean, that short practice is nothing.
No, it's nothing.
It's just, if he had a little more practice time, they could have dialed that truck in better for the race, but through the race, I listened to him on the scanner. So through the race, they dialed it in, and he got pretty good. And Kentucky, he's always run good there, so that's going to be a good one. Pocono, Sonoma, he's a pretty good road racer. So
right.
Yeah, he has 3 more to go. Don't count him out. He might sneak in there, and you might win another one before his career.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Guys, let's go ahead and get to our news and notes segment presented by TicketSmarter. TicketSmarter officially is the presenting sponsor of this show and the official ticket resale marketplace at Worldwide Technology Raceway, where the NASCAR Cup Series will be headed in just 2 weeks from right now. That's where David won in 2004, driving in the Truck Series. They'll be the presenting sponsor for that race. Fans can get tickets to any type of event, including sports, concerts, and theater productions through TicketSmarter. They're committing to helping those in need by donating $1 for every transaction to various charity organizations. Head over to TicketSmarter.com to find tickets for upcoming events. That's TicketSmarter.com. Dominic, some exciting news on Team Trackhouse's front, as that organization has taken some major strides in the last couple of years, and they're taking another step forward.
They sure are. Project 91, as it's being dubbed by Team Trackhouse, that's Justin Mark and Pitbull's race team. They're going to be fielding at least one part-time entry, the number 91 in the Cup Series, and that's going to be aimed at having an international reach with renowned drivers. So on Tuesday, May 24th, Project 91 was announced by Team Trackhouse, and it's in their words, the destination for global superstars from other racing disciplines that are eager to try NASCAR and America's most popular form of motorsports. So their mission, they are trying to intersect NASCAR and global motorsports, so F1, whatever national or international series might be racing. They want to bridge that and try to bring in more of an appeal and try to bring in some different drivers that have otherwise not have had that opportunity. We know of one race that they'll be entering, but that track is yet to be determined. The driver's yet to be determined, and it sounds like it's something that they're going to push for even more so in 2023.
Parlez-vous français? I'm from France. Tell them I'm from France. Parlez-vous français? Senor.
David, let's start with you on that. Trackhouse, we know with Pitbull and such, they tried to, they said that they're trying to change the culture. Daniel Suarez, big part of that. Now adding an international driver and doing this type of thing. Pretty cool stuff from a Trackhouse here.
Man, Justin Marks and Pitbull and given like Geoff called him, the watermelon man, Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez, and what they've done, and Man, it's just amazing to see a team in its sophomore years be so competitive. I would call them a championship caliber team now. And it's just cool to see, you know, other drivers from other racing series in the world, like F1 and maybe the rally sport, the V8 rally cars. I mean, I just think it's cool. And I just think, you know, and Geoff will tell you just, you know, how big our sport is. You know, people from all over the world want to come, you know, be a Geoff Bodine or participate in the freaking, you know, in our NASCAR races here in America. So I don't know. I just think it's cool. It's cool to have, you know, Pitbull part owner with Justin Marks. It's cool to see Trackhouse be so successful with their new young drivers. And it's just, you know, to have these international stars part of our sport. I just love it. I think it's great for NASCAR. It's great for auto racing in general. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And, you know, thanks to Justin Martin and Pitbull for doing that. You know what I mean? I'm excited to hear the news and who's the driver going to be, what series is he coming from? And, you know, obviously what country is he coming from? And I think it's cool, and it's just going to make our sport even bigger in the world.
Dominic, do we have some candidates that come to mind on this?
Man, I would be thinking somebody in Formula One. I don't know if maybe Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen, somebody at the top of the line with F1. But I figure we were talking about it actually this weekend. Some NASCAR reporters, and John Haverland, who listens to the show regularly, how that gap, that opportunity for F1 drivers to gracefully bounce between NASCAR and F1 would be easier than a NASCAR driver trying to get to F1. So I would imagine probably somebody in F1. Geoff, I'd be curious on who you think might be a candidate for that first race in that 91 car.
Probably Blue Francais. I'm from France. I don't even want to get out there. No, I heard rumors about F1 guy. I can't remember his name, but I wouldn't be surprised if the driver comes from Formula One.
Hey, Geoff, now that we're talking about all this, I'm just, you know, just sparks my mind. I know you know, once you're such a fighter and a competitor and a champion and a winner, how does that desire, how do you control that today? Or you're okay with everybody? You still get an itch when you're watching on TV saying, man, I mean, you know, the famous Geoff Bodine. I mean, you know, when you're sitting there watching a NASCAR race, do you sometimes say, man, I wish I was in there? I mean, competing again. I mean, is the itch still there and the want still there? I mean,
no, and no. You know, it was hard to get rid of that desire because I love the people. I love the atmosphere. I love the thrill of driving, all of that. And I prayed. I had to pray, you know, and I believe in prayer. Prayers work. I prayed and prayed and prayed. You know, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know I should stop. And finally, it left me. And I said, oh, that's good. I help guys right now. I don't even want to get in their car to go test. Well, you get that suit on, you go all sweaty and stuff, right? That's my excuse. But no, I don't even need to get out there and race. You know, I have nothing to prove.
no.
I have a lot I could lose. I've hit my head a lot. So the next time something might happen, hit my head, I might not wake up. I love my wife. I got 4 granddaughters, 2 sons, a lot of friends, a lot to lose.
Yes, sir.
Nothing to gain. So,
Absolutely.
and that's why Jimmy, make this your last race, please. Well, I know he loves his family, but crap happens in those cars, especially.
Yes, and that is so true.
Well, and Tyler, I have to share this with you because, in fact, I was texting somebody who's been on the show. I won't name them, but they're a race car driver and asked if they were going to be at the All-Star race. And just to kind of hear that other side of the spectrum, I asked, hey, are you going to be at the track this week? And he told me, no, I struggle, and I quote, going to the racetrack because I feel like a crackhead watching other crackheads do crack while I don't have any crack of my own.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Dominic, what else is going on? Big weekend, Memorial Day weekend. What's the motorsports schedule of everything?
Oh, man, it is like the holidays of racing, right? There's something going on every day of the week. It seems like we have a triple header weekend with the Truck Series, Xfinity, and Cup Series. We also have Formula One in Monaco. and the Indianapolis 500 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So there's so much racing going on this weekend. Seems like at any point during the weekend, you can flip the TV on and you're going to be able to watch some sort of racing action somewhere around the world.
Well, and with F1's recent popularity spike in the U.S. as flags, that's going to be a lot of intrigue. All eyes on Monaco that maybe weren't even at this time a year ago. The Indy 500, Coke 600. Geoff, this is a win for all the motorsports, isn't it? When there's so much to offer, right? I mean, doesn't everybody benefit from a weekend like this?
I only have 2 TVs. I can't watch all 3.
They're on at different times.
Okay. Probably a drag race going on somewhere also, and all the short track racing. And people love racing. They love the sport now. The situation the big sports are having is they're all on TV. So the older race fans are staying home watching on TV. I do. I love to be there, but it's so much easier to sit here on my sofa and watch my big TV and not have to fight the traffic. But you see the replays, you see the interviews, you hear the drivers who lies and who tells the truth about it wasn't my fault. So, that's the problem. The grandstands aren't full of people like they used to be. I mean, David, those days, the 90s, they were in the 80s. They were building more grandstands. They didn't have enough grandstand seats. They were the days.
Yes.
But now with television doing such a great job, they've lost the big track attendance, but they're still making money, the TV money. So we just got to keep watching on TV, and the sport will keep growing.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, a lot of competition out there.
Yeah. To hear you talk about adding more stands, and to me, and maybe Tyler and Dominic and Geoff, with the tracks you get to, it looks like they're slowly taking them out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. But it's interesting to hear you talk about it, Geoff. The television, the coverage of the race is so good. Our televisions are so clear, and everything going on like you were talking about. And it's almost best just to sit on your couch and watch it on television. Like you're almost there.
Get the NASCAR app. You can ride with some drivers. You can ride the car with the cameras. Yeah, it's so cool. And plus, you can listen to the drivers that cruise talk, which I do, of course, and that's interesting to hear those conversations. But I don't know. I tell people I'm smart enough to know I don't need to be out there, and I couldn't keep up with those young kids. No way, no how. They're good, and I'm old.
Dominic, when it comes to this weekend, besides just the Coke 600 itself, I'm going to be rooting so hard on Sunday for Jimmie Johnson. Qualified 12th. He's shown a lot of speed already at Indy. We know he's already won at that course before at the Cup level. I would expect Jimmie to run pretty well in that Indy 500. If he completes the race, I think he'll be in contention.
I agree. And he's won that race multiple times, the Indianapolis race or the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Certainly going to be a lot of NASCAR eyes watching that race. And I think that's going to be the big story there too. His rookie campaign, his official rookie campaign of running the entire schedule, Indianapolis. We know how good he is on the ovals. He's done good at the oval test. He did great at Texas a few months back. I'm looking for Jimmie Johnson to run really well this Sunday.
David, you going to be rooting for Jimmie on Sunday?
Yeah, no doubt. Just going back to what Geoff was saying earlier, it's like Geoff Bodine, he's won everything you can win. And, did everything you could do. And so, I asked him as he still has that itch, and he said, man, I don't, and because he's done it all, and you look at Jimmie Johnson and he's done it all, and 7 championships, and to see him getting an Indy car, which, for me, when things happen, it's ugly. They're going so fast. It's not a stock car. You're not protected like we are in our stock car race cars. And, I'll be watching it, be glued to I love the Indianapolis 500. Growing up as a kid, I've watched it ever since I can remember, being from Houston, Texas, and driving for AJ Foyt like I did. And AJ being a great friend of mine, I always cheer for AJ. and was a guest of his at Indianapolis 500 probably 8 years ago. It was amazing. But I will be watching Jimmy Johnson. I'm a big fan. I want him to do well, and just hearing y'all talk, it'd be awesome if he could be a shot at winning or top 3, whatever it may be. But there's a lot of stories in that race. And I think the biggest thing is, you watch it and it's awesome. It's such a spectacle, or whatever you want to say. It's a big event, but I just pray that everybody's safe, man, because it's dangerous. It's a dangerous sport, but man, I love it. We got Helio Castroneves that could win his 5th Indianapolis 500. That's never ever been done.
This is going to be in the book. Early in my career, I had a rear engine car. I ran. I converted it so I could run short tracks, Oswego, and some half-mile tracks, because that's where I wanted to go. It's an Indy back then. NASCAR wasn't as big as it became. Indy was, but and I loved driving that rear engine car. I actually drove an Indy car at Michigan. Dick Simons let me get in his backup car for Aaron Lyondike, and I ran 4 laps, and my 4th lap was like I got cramp, 210 or 2 something. And they wanted me to race that weekend, but I said, no, I can't do it. We're up there for the Iraq race. So I love that kind of racing, and because it's high tech, now NASCAR's that way now with these new cars.
Yeah.
Before they weren't so high tech, but now they are. But Indy cars, Formula One, it's all high tech. And I love that, because I always built my own cars. So I love that part of the racing.
It's interesting, Geoff. I was going to ask you if you ever had, if Indy cars was ever, if you had desires to do that, and that was where you wanted to go.
Yeah, that's why I did it. But the guys are getting hurt and killed. NASCAR got bigger, so I went from heading west to go south. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Real quick, some picks for the Coke 600. Dom, we'll start with you. Give me a name.
Oh boy, you're gonna put me on the spot. I am gonna say Ryan Blaney carries the momentum and he gets it done. Wins his first Coke 600. Wins his first Charlotte 1.5 mile race. He's won the Roval. He won the inaugural race in 2018. He gets it done in the Coke 600.
Coke 600 traditionally has been a good time for first-time winners. Tyler Reddick gets his first career win this weekend in the Coke 600. And getting it done in a crown jewel event, I think would be pretty awesome. Tyler Reddick's my pick, David.
Man, it's hard to pick one because, you got Ross Chastain, you got Kyle Larson and Chase, Briscoe and Chase Elliott. And I don't know. I think momentum's a big thing in our sport. And I'm going to go with the same pick Dominic chose. I'm going to go Ryan Blaney. I think they were so strong in the All-Star race. And, I just feel like that will be one to be a contender and will probably win the race.
You're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to.
What's that, Geoff?
Oh, come on, that's not fair. I'm going with the watermelon man. Ross is a charger. He is determined. He doesn't give up. What happened in the All-Star races? He made a move. He's going 190 miles an hour, and Kyle Busch should have stayed where he was. But he moved down a little bit. He didn't go far enough. He should have gone all the way to the apron with that flat tire. And Ross he was going fast. He didn't have a choice. He hit him and went flying through the air. But that boy's good. He's my pick.
So I got to ask you too, Geoff, because I know in 2016 when we had that big rookie class with oh, go ahead.
No, I said I love watermelons, so I gotta go with Ross.
A few years ago, Geoff, you had said that the rookies, the 2016 class, like it was Chris Busch or Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, they were going to have that youth advantage in the Coke 600. Do you feel like we're going to see the youth come out in the Coke 600 this Sunday as well? Because
they're all in the equal cars. Basically the same basic car, and so there's no team that can find an advantage. The only advantage is the setup, which they're all pretty good with that, with the engineering and the sims and all that modern day stuff. When the late Earnhardt and I were driving, and Elliott, our butts were our computer. So that's how we set the car up, from the feeling in our butts.
Yeah.
So yeah, the young kids are going to do good. Those old guys, they're finding out how tough, how good these young guys are. So I think it's going to be a young guy. It could be Blaney. Yeah, I'm pulling for Joey Logano because he and his dad and mom helped us a lot with our bobsled. So I love that family. They're really good people. But the watermelon med, Todd helped Ross when he just came into racing. He coached him and tried to help him. So Todd has a little bit of money in that game with him because he helped Ross a lot. So it could be anybody, but I got to pull for Ross. He's a goer, getter. He doesn't give up.
Yeah, very good. Last thing before we go, our Ask David segment, we ask you to submit questions to us on Facebook, facebook.com/David Starr Podcast, Twitter @StarPodcast, and by email, davidstarpodcast@gmail.com. This segment presented by TicketSmarter. TicketSmarter came aboard as the primary sponsor this year on David's 08 Ford Mustang. We want to tell you a little bit more about what they do. TicketSmarter is a national ticket resale marketplace with tickets to over 125,000 live events, including NASCAR and other forms of motorsports. Fans can get tickets to every NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Camping World Truck race throughout the season. Visit TicketSmarter.com. That's TicketSmarter.com. Our first question in the inbox comes from Missy. Missy wants to know, this is for Geoff, do you still go to local tracks you used to dominate back in New York, especially your old family track? Geoff, did you make it up there much?
It's a long ride from Malabar, Florida, back to Chemung, New York. So no, I don't get back there much. I go to New Smyrna. You're right here in Florida, half-mile track. I won a lot of races there. We'd always come down for speed weeks. And I help a friend of mine that races Sebring, road race. So I love road racing. I won a few of those. So, but no, I don't venture too far out of the state of Florida. Costs too much money. Gas. Thank you, Mr. Biden. I'm Trump. We need Trump back. Sure. I mean, the gas. It's crazy what's happened to our world right now. So yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get out of the state of Florida.
David, do you get out the other tracks much when you're not racing?
Man, I love it. When just like, when I'm, out somewhere, like in Charlotte next week, this weekend, I think the World of Outlaws will be there at the dirt track. And man, I love going to the short tracks, watching a good dirt race. I like going and watching the late models race on the asphalt, and just I do every chance I get. And if you look close enough, you might see me in one of those dirt cars. You know what I mean? But I love the short tracks. I mean, that's where we learn. That's where we all come from. That's where we learn how to race. And man, for me personally, when I get done racing on Saturday afternoon, I find the closest dirt track or asphalt track I can get to, and you usually find me in the stands or in the pits checking it out. It's pretty awesome.
That reminds me, you're talking about dirt. Yeah, we have been to Lebanon Valley up in upstate New York. Lori's uncle, Wayne Jelly, races there. Her father, Butch Jelly, used to race there. He's in the Hall of Fame up state in New England. So yeah, Lebanon Valley is a dirt track. I raced there once in an all-star race a long time ago. I went there to watch the NASCAR guys race there, Richard Petty and Wendell Scott.
Wendell Scott, wow.
That's a long time ago. I went up there with my uncles from Chemung. Yeah, it's about a 3-hour ride, but that was quite an adventure. But Lebanon Valley, great track if you're up in the Northeast.
That's
very
amazing.
Cool. Another question. This one comes from Buddy. Buddy wants to know, Geoff, what did it feel like going 197 plus miles an hour in Atlanta during qualifying in '97? I was there that day, and it looked unreal.
Yeah, that's in the book too. There's a story about that. Yeah, I was really confident in the car. We had one spot coming off turn 2 where they had to patch it, so you'd hit that and you'd kind of slip. So we were all concerned about that. And Tim Brewer was crew chief in my car back then, and I told him, I think I can run wide open around this place. He's well, go for it. Tim Brewer, he didn't care. Go for it. He just liked to see his car go fast. And I went through 1 and 2 wide open. And that's the toughest corner because it's sharper.
Yeah.
And 3 and 4 has a more gradual entrance and exit because you're going on a trial. And I said, well, this is going to be a piece of cake. My brothers told me going into turn 1, I was going like 210 miles an hour, some crazy number.
Wow.
They were watching on TV. But I went into 3 and it was fine. And I got just almost halfway through and there's some bumps in the track. And the car started moving up and down a little bit. And that made it want to push towards the wall. So I had to just ease up on the throttle just a little bit. You know how that works. You release that ratchet and it'll turn in the rear gear. So I had to let up just a touch. And when they told me the speed, man, I was mad. I wanted to go 198. And I might have done it if I hadn't had to lift a little bit. But yeah, so that was quite a thrill. Yeah, very happy with it. We ran like crap in a race, but the qualifying was good. They still have the record.
Wow.
Geoff, we need to get you out on this new Atlanta.
Well, they've taken horsepower away from the cars.
Yeah.
If they had the same horsepower we did and they have more downforce, they on that new track, they'd go a lot faster.
Yeah.
You know, just they don't have all that to go fast now. It's a great race, but they're not going as fast.
Amazing, man.
And we'll do one more question in the inbox here this time, and this one's going to come from Trent. Wants to know, as far as teams you drove for, Geoff, who stands out and that you had the best owner-driver relationship with?
They were all good until you say you're leaving, or they say they're all good until they say you're not driving for me next year. Everything's good up to that point. But no, and of course, Rick Henry, you know, we're still friends. Junior Johnson. I mean, he was a great guy, great racer, great car owner. I just happened to get with him when it's kind of, well, you know, he and his wife were having troubles. He had a girlfriend, and so he wasn't paying attention to racing. And he formed another team, which he said he'd never do have 2 teams again. Well, then he got Sterling Marlin, Maxwell House. And back in those days, you couldn't get enough engine parts to build 2 good engines. You really couldn't get enough to build one sometimes. So who got the good engines? It was Sterling, because Budweiser was a solid sponsor. We'd won with him, and he was trying to impress Maxwell House. So that was a problem. Bud Moore was great. Oh, Bud Moore, man.
Wow.
Poor hero. What a great guy. Very great history. But he was old. And they were building their own engines, but I got him a Peter Giles engine the first year, and that's when we won all the races in Martinville and North Brookfield. The same engine, same car, same setup, everything. I mean, it was awesome, but that helped him. They started building better engines. But we went to the second year, had 2 crew chiefs, Travis Carter and Donnie Wingo. And
wow.
I said, we're going to Sears Point. I said, guys, I know how we can win this race. They had good cars. I know how we can win this race. We put a rear anti-roll bar in the car. You know, they weren't illegal, but nobody was using them. I'd use them in my modifieds and everything I had ever driven, late model. So I told them what to do. They went in there at night after everyone left and put that thing on the race car for Sears Point. They didn't tell Bud Moore about it. Love Bud Moore, but he was old school. He wouldn't have let him do it. So we had to keep it a secret. And we won a race. And it really helped us out there. And of course, then everyone started running them, and tires changed and stuff. But independent rear, they all have them. That's what you have.
Hey, Geoff, what did that rear sway bar do for y'all? Was it forward bite or just made it, I mean, overall?
No,
good?
you know, when you're road racing, you go left and right.
Yeah.
And that would allow you to set the car up where you could go left good, but then the right handers through the S's and stuff, you could still, and down the carousel, that was a long left-hand corner. You could get down through there better with a rear sway bar. You didn't have to run stiff springs to do it. Okay. So when a car leaned on it on one side or the other, it just helped it turn. And it's a huge advantage. Every car in the world has them now. Every truck has a rear sway bar.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bud was great. Of course, I was the best owner. Went home my team now. You know, Joe Bessie, we started with him a new team, and you know, we had that crash in Daytona in 2000 which screwed all that up. And I'm sorry that happened. That was a great effort. Joe was a good guy. He's a racer. James Finch, you know, almost won Daytona again with him in 2002, which would have been great. Came in third, but had a chance to win. So I've had a lot of great owners, a lot of great crew chiefs. You know, loved them all. Harry Hyde was a guy, like I said earlier, why I joined Rick Henry. So I got to pick him out. Probably is the best. The one that influenced my career the most, because he got to win with me and Rick at Martinsville. And we won other races too. So I love Harry Hyde, but all of them were great.
That's wonderful.
Until you had to leave. That ended it.
That's great.
Long answer to that.
Guys,
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. David, you've had a lot of owners too. Who's some of those that stand out who you've had great relationships with?
Man, just Wayne Spears back in I mean, there's been so many greats like Geoff, you know, just, man, they're all special in their own way. And you're just blessed. You had the opportunity to drive for different people. And Randy Moss, when Randy was playing for the New England Patriots, was cool. Driving for AJ a little bit, I did. Wayne Spears, all of them. I mean, just all of them. I mean, you know, they give you an opportunity to drive their race cars, and just, you know, but you know, one that sticks out in my mind was Wayne Spears. Early on in my career, gave me an opportunity with great equipment, won races. Dave McCarty, my crew chief, but you know, all of them are special. You know, that was the next step in your career, and I've had a lot of them, and just thankful that I had the opportunities to drive for different people. But yeah, but Wayne Spears would be one that really stands out. My early truck days, no doubt.
Yeah, that's cool. That's some great stuff. Guys, it's been a lot of fun talking to Geoff and bringing him on the show this week. This discussion just went by so quick. Geoff, any final thoughts before we go? What's going on in your world? Where can people reach out to you and such?
Well, come to New Smyrna Speedway in Florida if you want to see me. We don't go there every week. The friend I help, they don't race his car every week, but we're there a lot. Sebring, they have different series. Chin is one series. NASA is one series. Yeah. They have events there. They race there all the time. New World Racing, you want the book, the record. We're going to have I'm going to do that audio book, and we might have some hard copies, but Dom's going to have to type them out and put them in a book form, because we can't afford a real publisher. No, I'm just kidding. My joke.
Where do we get the book at?
My jokes.
Where do we get the book at, Geoff, again?
New World Racing at AOL.com.
Okay.
My wife will send the info, and we get it right out to you.
Awesome. Comes with an autograph too, correct?
Autographed, and I even kiss it for all you women.
Put some of that popcorn in one of the pages.
Yeah, but the real book, the good book, is coming out. It's gonna be a little while down, but we're gonna get it out. It's gonna be good. Awesome. You know, you want to do something really good, so you don't want to hurry it.
No.
You know, I'm not gonna be like everyone else. I guess Mark Martin's writing the book also, a tell-all book. So that should be a good one too.
Absolutely.
You know, all us old timers, we got some stories.
Yeah.
Some stories to tell.
Yeah.
That's great. Dominic, what's going on with you this week, man?
Yeah, I'll be making a cool little trip with my fiance and her brother. We're going to be going up to Utah and I think Arches National Park. So we'll be doing that for Memorial Day weekend. We'll have Justin Malillo and Kyle Stevens out at the racetrack for us at the Coke 600. And of course, our remote coverage, Jonathan Field and I will be continuing to do that. So we have all hands on deck this weekend. Adam Kuhn with our IndyCar coverage. We are busy at theracingexperts.com, making sure we're bringing all the news to the fans. You, Tyler, what's keeping you busy this weekend?
So this weekend, we kick off the official Summer of Jones begins. and with Memorial Day weekend, and I turned another year older on Sunday. I'll be 26. So that's what's going on. I'm going to go see the family, enjoy a nice weekend at home, and a little extended Memorial Day weekend. So that'll be good. And and all is good in my world. And excited for the summer weeks ahead. Going to be doing a lot of traveling over the next couple of months, and just enjoyed myself, and it'll be great. David, you're off to Charlotte here.
Man, looking forward to it, man. I love this weekend. I get to race Saturday afternoon at Charlotte Motor Speedway, an Xfinity race, truck race Friday night. You wake up Sunday morning, you get to watch the F1 race from Monaco. And then man, it's the Indianapolis 500. And when that ends, man, they're cranking the motors up for the Coca-Cola 600. Man, it's just an awesome weekend of racing, and I love it. And next couple of days, I'm working at my racing school, Team Texas driving school, finishing up some cars and doing some maintenance on some other ones. And just, man, looking forward to a great weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, that'll be awesome to see. We'll be rooting you on, David. Geoff, thanks for joining us. We'll have to have you back on again. You're the second returning guest that we've had on the show. So
thank you. I just want to send all the prayers out to the families and all the kids down there in Texas that went through that horrific thing today and the shooting. And of course, out where Dom is, the fires through his state. Hopefully they don't destroy too many homes or no homes, hopefully, but that's a terrible thing. Come on, we got to figure out a way to put these fires out quicker. I know it's hard. I was a firefighter when I was a kid, so but yeah, that's terrible, and a lot of tough things going on in our world, not just here in the United States. So just say prayers for that, and God knows what's going on. He'll take care of it all.
Absolutely.
Well, we got to run. Big thanks to Geoff, you, the listener, for joining us as well. As always, subscribe to Let's Go Racing with David Starr. New episodes out each and every Wednesday on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, as well as YouTube. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review, or don't leave us one at all. Hit that like button and subscribe. We certainly would appreciate it, and we will see you next time. We'll put the checker flag out on this episode. Greg Biffle joins us next week for our very nice episode, number 69 of Let's Go Racing. We'll see you then. For David Starr, Geoff Bodine, Dominic, Aragon, and Tyler Dillon, thanks so long. This has been another edition of Let's Go Racing. See you next week.